I feel like you're trapped.
I think sometimes I am.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. But trapped on accident. Like, what I mean by that is, like, as a kid, we had to go to church. That was just the thing that my mother made us do. And then I got turned on to humanitarian work and was very influenced by the life of Mother Teresa, what she did in India for the orphans. So I decided to go to seminary, and in seminary is religion. So I'm into God, but I found that those people that were so religious and so rigid and so attracted to rules, many times because of those rules, if somebody didn't measure up, they put people down.
Yes.
So I stayed in a family of religious people, I think, too long. If I could have got out earlier, kind of like the movie Get Out,
Yep.
I wish I would have, to be honest.
What age was that? How long were you there?
I think that, you know, it's a interesting thing. It's almost like the Forrest Gump movie, where he's having all these Forrest Gump moments happening, where he's just doing his thing, but that thing is somehow taking him to the top.
Yes.
Right? So I was doing my thing as a humanitarian, a speaker, and it took me to the top. But it took me to the top of a group that a lot of these guys I didn't even like. And I like most people. And in high school, people always saw Tim Storey as a guy who was friends with everybody. And I think you would look at me as a guy who's friends with everybody.
Yes.
But the reason I didn't like some of these religious guys is because they were judging people so much. So it wasn't like if it was like a guy named Paul Smith, whoever Paul Smith might be, it wouldn't be that I wouldn't like him if I just met him on the street. I didn't like his point of view. I didn't like where he was coming from of judging somebody because he fell on his ass because he was struggling with something. That I never liked. So I wish I probably would have got out at about 30.
So, and I think this up until you said it, I didn't think about it, but I think my experience of you as a speaker and in motivation is you don't bring judgment into that
I don't.
relationship.
No,
Yeah.
and not bringing judgment has caused judgment to come against me. It's like, you know, why do you hang out with Oprah? Because we think this about her. Or Steve Harvey, we think this about her. Or Grant Cardone, we think this about him. It's an amazing thing that when you begin to hang out with humanity, or Kanye West or whoever, it's amazing that the religious people, who their whole idea is, I want to save the world, don't want to give the world a chance. So I do get judged, but now I'm cool with it. But part of it is because of age.
True, and I think you have an unusual gift, skill, talent. Back to honesty, you find a way of being honest.
Yes.
Without that judgment, without the tie to judgment.
Wow, that's good. That's good insight.
Yeah.
That's good insight. Because, okay, so honesty. Let me give you an example of something. So when we're kids, about 5 of us go into a convenience store. And I don't know what 3 of them are going to do. They're going to start stealing candy. So at that time, we must have been about 11. Okay, because I remember, because I remember what team I was on in baseball, in Little League Baseball. So we go into the store. I don't know, Hank, that they're going to steal.
Yep.
So one of the older kids who's 2 years older, so I'm 11, he's 13. That's a big deal at that time. So he comes to me and goes, Timmy, he goes, put these things in your pocket, okay? And I had a coat on, he's just stuffing things in my pocket. So he goes up and he buys a couple things, and then he goes, come on guys, let's go. And I'm like, oh man, he stuffed things in my pocket, and now I'm leaving the place, okay? So what happens is that I was being dishonest, but I was caught in a trap that if I challenged that guy, he was 2 years older, and I was afraid not to be his friend. So he goes, okay, and we went to this place. He goes, what does everybody have in their pocket? I couldn't believe what they had.
Yeah.
They had taken all kinds of stuff, and that wasn't me. Not just because of religion, I just was not a thief. And so I remember that I shut the hell up so I could just stay in the crew. And I think that sometimes, even in religion, I shut the hell up to stay in the crew.
The journey for me is becoming aware of. You said it. I don't have an awareness of that. I don't have a sense of that.
Yeah.
I'm a dancing monkey, like, to some
Yeah.
degree. Let me go do my like a child. Let me go do my dance. Let me go say my funny thing, do my thing, and then it's over.
But if I was to almost coach you for just a moment,
Please.
I would say this: that the fact that you have not brought this to perfection is part of your strength. Because let's look at two guys. Johnny Carson admitted at the end of his life that he was still shy and was still feeling awkward after even doing the show all those years.
Yep.
David Letterman, same thing.
Yep.
Okay. So Carson, the master, Letterman, the master, still felt shy and
Yes.
awkward even to the end.
Yeah. And it shows in Johnny, if you watch it.
Yeah.
Because I still watch old. The Tonight Show still airs on Antenna or something.
No. I watch
Yeah,
it.
I watch it
In
all the
fact,
time.
my mother watches it Monday through Friday.
And it shows up in that when Johnny does a joke that doesn't land, he takes that. What he's famous for is that pause. He apologizes. He comments that this audience isn't as fun, or you guys are better than last night's audience. He's constantly measuring his own performance, almost like minute by minute. It's fascinating.
Yes.
That insecurity.
Yes.
His insecurity, his shyness, his wanting to do the right thing for the audience.
Yeah. So we're talking on the subject of honesty. Let's say one last thing on this, because we're going to continue this banter over the next few months. I want to say this. Here's one thing I've learned, is that I think that when I went and I studied in religion, and I studied the Bible, and I got around so many religious people, that we kind of thought like, this is the way it is, and choose our way, or you're probably slightly wrong. The way I feel now is that your honesty can help me in the areas where I thought I was right. Like, there are some areas where I now feel like I was wrong. And I love when people get honest with me now about how they see life, how they see spirituality, how they see family, right?
Yes.
Because, I always thought the family unit was the husband, the wife, and the two kids. That's not always a family unit. And that doesn't mean you suck just because it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm processing it. That's a lot of information right there.
So thank God to me for your honesty and other people's honesty, being honest with me, because it's helping to change my reality.
And having the bravery, what you're talking about is the biggest piece. It's the honesty followed with the bravery to show up and say that.
Yeah.
To talk about your growth, which you've done in the past.
Yeah.
You tell the story which someone stupidly to me told you not to talk about.
Yeah. That's
powerful. I think it's even more powerful what you're doing right here, right now. The growth we're currently going through, sharing that.
Thank you.
Sharing that raises all boats rise when you do that.
So here I am, 2019. That's how I feel today.
It's awesome.
Pound. Bam.
That's powerful.
We did it.
That's a good breakthrough.